Patrice Motsepe's African Rainbow Captial has released its annual financial results for the year ending June 2021. The diversified investment group, which has digital TymeBank in its stable, saw its portfolio value grow to 12.3 billion rand from 10.5 billion rand in the previous year. Our business reporter Kopano Gumbi spoke to the co-CEO Johan van der Merwe about the group's performance.
Some of the consumer-facing businesses of yours did very well, as you mentioned, Rain being one of them. What was the uptake during the pandemic or lockdowns?
Yeah, so just before the lockdowns, now I'm talking about probably December 2019, January 2020, Feb 2020, we were selling probably anything between 12 and 15,000 SIM cards for data per month to individuals. That shot up, Kopano, to anything between 60 and 80,000 per month for a number of months during the lockdown. It did abate a little bit towards the end of 2020 to about 45,000 or so per month, but then it picked up again early in 2021. And, but still, at 45,000, it's still 4 or 5 times what it used to be before. So the uptake has been considerable. If one looks at Rain, it was a company with maybe 200 employees early 2020. By the end of the year, I think they had closer to 700 employees. Obviously we've had some teething problems as well in terms of the service levels, etc. But that's hopefully and looking at the results, something of the past. And, the response time is very, very good and customers much happier than at some point in time.
I want to talk about that a little bit more because it is exciting, obviously, to get an increased uptake in the way that you have. But that must put strain on the business because under your underlying networking issues, all of those, how do you resolve those as quick as you are getting clients?
Yeah, that was a real challenge. I think they did, by now it's weathered, but at the time when it happened, it wasn't all that nice, in a time when the economy was contracting, to have to, build a business from 200 to 700 people. The biggest problem for us came with people who wanted the data and the Rain contract. And then they just outside the areas that we actually put them. And I think because they're so close to it, they put in another address and then they put up their equipment there, but then they didn't get the coverage that they expected, and that created a lot of problems. So we made a very, very big point of it to make sure that when people take it, that it is for a specific address which lies within the network capabilities, etc. Because obviously the rolling out of the network for us in Rain was very important, and obviously in most of the metropolitan areas we quite well located, etc. But the further away you get, we haven't rolled out the network there yet at some point in time. But where we were at maybe about 3,000 towers, with our equipment on February last year. Now talking about a year and a half later, we're probably sitting at about 10,000 towers. So it's a massive increase over this period of time.
The Rain's value proposition overall was about rolling out high-speed internet, 5G internet, to as many people as possible, as quickly and affordably as possible. That has changed, I would assume, given that we don't actually have 5G spectrum allocated yet. What are your plans? Are you in discussion with ICASA at all about getting in on the bidding?
Yeah. So Kopano, so of the available 5G spectrum, Rain's got about 60%. So we have that already, and we're rolling out 5G on our own. The other 40%, which is still held by the government, and under ICASA's control, that's going to be tendered and on auction later on. But ours is already there, and we're rolling out. And I think we're probably very close to 1,000 towers where we've got 5G already being rolled out on.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about TymeBank now as well. Another consumer-facing business of yours is very interesting. And I would imagine the proposition of TymeBank, low fees, high savings rates, came in very handy at a time like COVID-19, where people were re-evaluating their finances. Did you see an increase in uptake at all from people who use TymeBank as a primary bank?
Yeah. Kopano, we haven't seen a huge increase, but we also didn't see it really abating. So we were onboarding clients at about 100,000 per month, about 3,500 a day. And that carried on, obviously, with our kiosks in the Boxer stores and also Pick and Pay, and obviously over the internet as well. It seemed to me, even though the uptake was a little bit less in the stores, it was a little bit higher on the internet, because I think people just, they obviously sat at home, had some more time, and so on. Obviously, we want to be a much cheaper bank, and we are a much cheaper bank, and we believe that's part of the value proposition. But it's also the ease of doing business. It is, really very inclusive for the unbanked population as well. And we believe with the different initiatives that we're busy with at the moment, that there will be, quite a big uptake on it. But a very important thing that you said is whether people make it their primary bank or not. It's easy to open a bank account, but a bank will only be able to make money if people transact and use it, and if you come out with certain products, that they use those products, etc. So that's a very, very important, consideration for us, is not for only people to open bank accounts, but use it as their primary bank account.